Welcome everyone to the webinar today titled 20 Reasons to Keep GP, presented to you today by Michael Hollingsworth. He is president and founder of Centerprism, the full spectrum ERP. Centerprism is a software solution dedicated to GP to provide an all-in-one solution to replace multiple solutions, often cobbled together to accomplish the same objectives. As a result, Centerprism offers more functionality and provides a modern interface to GP for a fraction of the cost. And with that, I just wanted to go through a few items with you here before we get to it. These webinars are recorded. You'll have access to the recording as well as the deck following the presentation today. You will be on mute throughout the webinar, but I'll open it up for questions at the end. If you do have questions, please type them in the question box within GoToWebinar or raise your hand using the hand icon, and I will unmute your phone so you can verbalize that question. Michael has said that he would take questions throughout the presentation today, so if anything sparks your interest or you have questions, please type those in the question box and we will interrupt and ask those questions as they come up. So with that, I will change presenter rights over to you, Michael, and have you take away.
Thank you very much, Lisa. So yes, I am the president and founder of Centerprism, the full spectrum ERP. So what we're going to do, I'm going to spend maybe 4 or 5 minutes talking about what Centerprism is for those of you who aren't familiar with Centerprism. We have the 20 reasons, which I'm going to talk about right after that, and then I have something really exciting called PrismView to show at the very end. So we are a full spectrum ERP. We're an all-one solution. We have a lot of noise going on with what to do with GP. So the purpose of this is to talk about why we started Centerprism and what we want to do. We only do one thing, and that's Microsoft Dynamics GP. Our goal is to modernize GP and fill in all the function gaps with one solution. We want to avoid you having a disruption in your business. A disruption would be caused by you having to replace GP. GP is an awesome program. We've worked with it for 12 years. Microsoft actually reached out to me to build this program because they were losing market share to this product. So we're excited about GP, and we want to save you money and time and keep your data, which is very important, especially with all the custom things you might have in it. Plus, we want to keep you from having to pull data out of your database into Excel. Shouldn't have to do that. We have a better idea. That better idea is PrismView. No need for Excel or Smart Lists. You have a lot of rich data, and we want to be able to show it to you and let you have control of it. Because GP is built on something really awesome called SQL Server. Now, we don't sell anything else but GP. We don't sell Dynamics 365 or Business Central or Navision. We're not doing NetSuite. We're not doing Plexus. We're not doing anything but GP. But you know what all those software companies have in common? They all use SQL Server. SQL Server is your ticket to awesome data and to getting your data now. And that's every field. That's all your custom fields, all your third-party fields, applications, everything. Plus, we can avoid you having to fight with your add-ons. Your add-ons sometimes don't get along. Plus, they all tend to have different user interfaces. We have one single user interface, a modern interface, and we can save you money. And we will save you money. That's what this is about, saving you money, having to deal with one vendor, one interface, one solution, a one-stop shop. That's what we are. And as I mentioned, we just do one thing, and we want to do it very well. So, Centerprism, now for the 20 reasons. We used to call this 20 features in 20 minutes. Well, I've since changed that to 20 reasons because these are things that you already have in GP. This is data that you have access to, that you could have access to right now, but maybe not because of GP. Well, we're going to help you with that with Centerprism. Here we go. So starting out with the first things, Centerprism has, so forecasting. Forecasting is really just getting the best customer service at the best cost. So you want to avoid having to spend too much to make sure you have all the product you need at the right time. There's two ways we do that. We do it with the Prism Forecaster or the Prism PO Advisor. What the Prism Forecaster does is basically have a plan to enable you to create purchasing plans. These purchasing plans use this purchasing plan configurator connected to an activity scheduler, connected to an order point calculator. You can assign these to any number of items, and then the fields that are in GP right now, the order point, EOQ, all those fields now become really valuable because instead of memo fields, they're now fields that are automatically updated based on your sales history, right in just in time for your next purchase order. Now, doing these purchasing plans takes a lot of time. We know that. So that's why we came up with another option, the PO Prism Advisor. What the PO Advisor does is lets you calculate order points right on the fly. So as you see in this screen, I can access monthly sales history by item. And here they all are, and I can easily come up with perhaps some things I might want to do. For example, I might want to say, give me 2 weeks of supply for these items. I could even plan for adjusting it for growth. And after I calculate this information, I can create a PO on the fly and then decide if I want, as an option, submit my order point to the item maintenance record, and then the order points are updated. We also have another feature called Prism Rec. We've taken the Prism or the PO requisition tool in GP and modernized it, made it better. This function was inspired to me by a client in Knoxville, Tennessee, who kept a spreadsheet in order to keep track of his items to make sure he got the best deals. The best deals would be things like free freight, special pricing. Well, there are thresholds by vendor that give you free freight. So what he would do is keep this in his spreadsheet so he'd make sure to buy just at the right time when he got those thresholds. Well, what Prism Rec does is it does that for you. So I can easily add, even from order entry, these items in this list. I can mix them up by vendor, and then the system alerts you when it's time to buy. And then I can just create a PO right on the fly just at the right time, and then keep building my list. Then we also have a way to take the spreadsheets you get from your vendors when you do the cost updates. We can build templates so that it's a one-click cost update rather than spending hours and hours of time updating your costs from your vendor spreadsheets. Now to order entry. Order entry is a single screen order entry solution with access to everywhere. We do that through tabs, buttons, hyperlinks. And as you see here, I can have multiple orders, transactions up simultaneously with just one user. So you see the tabs at the bottom can contain lots of information you have or maybe you don't have, like little pictures of items as you see at the bottom of the screen. Or I can easily see all the quantities all at once by all my locations, all the values, just with a click. So these 15 tabs will give you instant access to all this information by item, by site ID, and they're all drill downable to get right into the information. We have an exclusive feature called the Interactive Sales Advisor. What the Interactive Sales Advisor does is basically give you bestsellers for your client. So with a click of an easy button, I can see what someone's purchased, but it's ranked by how many orders, transactions it's on. As you see here, the top items have the most transactional records. So with this screen, I can then turn to my customer, suggest things that he probably forgot to add. Therefore, I'm giving better service. I then easily can do and click all these items that he wants to buy, put the quantities in, click on Add to Order. So it's a faster order entry, plus my average sales transaction will increase by trend. Emailing is very easy with Centerprism. Emailing is out of the box. There's no special configuration. It just works, whether you're using Outlook or Gmail or G Suite. It's built to connect exactly to your item record and to your customer contacts. So with this email solution, you have the ability to have unlimited emails, unlimited contacts, have pop-ups, create templates for each of your email needs and transaction types, and have every single email that you send be tracked. It's tracked in our integrated CRM. Credit card processing is another thing that we found to be challenging with GP customers. So we have a way to make very simply have it a one-step tool that lets you do a credit card transaction. It is easier. It is also going to save you money because we use our third-party tool called Card Connect, which they support Tier 2, Tier 3 processing, and virtually in every case, we found that they are going to make it less expensive for your processing fees. This is included, so we don't charge extra for this. And if you're not already, we'll make you PCI compliant because the Card Connect will house all the credit card numbers in their database, so nothing's on your server or network. As I mentioned, we have an integrated CRM. It is out of the box. We weren't intending to get into CRM originally. The reason we got into CRM is because over the years we have never found one GP customer who is completely happy with their CRM installation. CRMs are difficult not because the CRM packages aren't good. Typically they're usually very good. It's just that they don't really talk very well to GP and involve a lot of configuration, integration, and custom coding. Centerprism CRM works out of the box. We call it same-day plug-and-play. It exposes all your contacts and customer records, and it allows full integration with all the other modules in Centerprism. And CRM shouldn't just be for salespeople. We call it a 360 view, not just from each module. You might want to have access from vendors, from shipping people, from collections. Well, also, we can track all the different workflows, notes, activities, opportunities from all these sources and from different user roles in the company. And it puts it all, because it's all in one database, managers can get a full view of all the things that are happening with their customers, whereas individual user roles can only see what they're entitled to see. Advanced sales commissions. Sales commissions in GP is typically very rudimentary. So we expand that by offering a lot more options such as tiered commissions, maybe commissions based on item or class, maybe split commissions, maybe different graduating gross margin percentages, or having the ability to do sales percentages simultaneously. All the commissions can be configured, and each salesperson could have a different commission plan should you want them to. Also, we've introduced a unique solution called commission depreciation. Commission depreciation is the ability to assign a commission tool that helps your salespeople be involved in collections. So should you pay commissions not on paid invoices, but on just invoices that have yet to be collected, as the aging buckets progress, so do the percentage of the commission the salespeople could receive. And this is a custom solution for you that you can customize. Speaking of collections, Centerprism has a built-in AR collection tool. And as I mentioned, it is integrated with CRM. And that's a good thing. You don't want to have a separate database for all your collection activity from your CRM activity, which is typically the case. Or in some cases, you have notes that are in the customer record. So now you have 3 places of data. What we do is put it all in one place. That way, managers can see a customer and have a full picture, a full, complete, more accurate picture of what's happening to a customer. You don't want to ship to customers who you have challenges collecting money from. And as you'd expect, we have the ability to do batch invoicing, action IDs, and dialing for dollars follow-up lists.
Michael, I do have a question.
Oh, sure.
Can you do order confirmation PDF attachments in the email?
Yes. In fact, we differentiate attachments and non-attachments in the actual tracking of the email, as well as templates, yes. Okay, AR cash receipts. So we have the ability to replace GP's cash receipts because we've had customers who would like to be able to have a single screen for entering cash receipts and having the ability to enter multiple customers simultaneously in one receipt payment ID, because many customers have different site IDs and a check needs to be split multiple ways, and it would be much easier to do it in one screen. So we have the ability to do that, as well as a thing called intelligent batch ID creation. So then the user doesn't have to create a batch ID upon entry, which is something we also offer in the order entry. We also support barcode scanning, barcode selling. And this is done for order entry as well as to support our wireless warehouse management solution. So in that way, we can have the ability to have unlimited UPC codes by bin location and by unit of measure for every item. Now to inventory. So for inventory, we've redesigned the item maintenance screen. You see here we put it in tabs so we don't have any go-to screens to go to. So now we make it much easier to navigate within the item maintenance screen, and we have done this redesign for all the other card tables like vendors and customers and salespeople, etc. With that, then, when you click on some of these tabs, for example, the audit tab, this will give you every single time quantity on hand for an item was affected, like an adjustment, a transfer, anything. I can then group it. I can see different cost implications and date, time, and user stamp. I also have a separate database called the Centerprism catalog. The purpose of a separate table for catalog items is for having special orders. Maybe you want to have customer assigned equipment that you don't want to house in your item record. Maybe rentals, or just maybe you want to have a full copy of the entire vendor's catalog accessible to you. The ability then to have assign service plans and convert to an item is all embedded within our catalog. And we have the ability to access both the item record and the catalog in order entry. An additional tab too within that item record is we have the ability to capture competitor information. So competitor information would be things like pricing and marketing information that you want to house along with the item should you have someone, a competitor down the street who sells similar things like you. We have a full e-commerce solution, fully integrated, out-of-the-box solution, which consists of three things: the web store, the customer portal, and the page designer. The web store then work out of the box same day. That's because the item, pricing, customer records are all integrated with e-commerce. You then have to have the ability to have a customer portal. Customer portal then lets the users, lets your clients see not just transactions they've purchased on the web, but also transactions they may have purchased in store. Check on status records, maybe pay a bill, maybe do a reorder quickly, maybe reprint an invoice, make a wish list. Then finally, the catalog page designer lets you truly customize colors, themes, add images, totally customize your landing pages and all your product pages that you've assigned to your web store. And with our HTML editor, it makes making these changes very easy as editing a Word document. We have the ability to have an embedded dashboard. This executive dashboard has the ability to make graphs, KPIs, which we call key performance indicators for critical tools. I can easily change the date range, multiple tabs for multiple information, and then all these hyperlinks are linking to Prism views, which I'm going to show you live product in just a little bit. We have an integrated field service and dispatch solution. Again, it's integrated to the CRM and the item database. So as you can see here, if I create an activity like I'm doing now and I choose to make it a service call, a ticket number is automatically assigned. And as like the other activities in CRM, we have total integration to Outlook or what other services you're using, and thus everything is tracked in the database with this customer, along with be able to sign notes and images. And it's supported with a mobile app called Prism Tech. We have a payroll tax variance management solution. So for those of you who are using the GP payroll, sometimes we've found that people have troubles with tax variances from the employee record to the payment tables. So we have a way to find, prevent, and resolve such payroll tax variances that you may have in GP. And if you need one, we have a biometric time clock. We also have a wireless warehouse management solution. As you can see here, this little mobile app can be on your phone. This one happens to be a picture of the Zebra device that we now ship out. The Zebra devices are more like a mobile phone than the traditional, what I call the MC9090s, which is that used to be a symbol device that would use to do your wireless warehouse management. So what we do then is, using your wireless network, we're able to allow you to scan items, bins, be able to use this as a shelf management tool, or enter the items if some of your items aren't scanned, or pick, pack, and ship, or receive. Now to pricing. So pricing, we have a lot of pricing options in addition to the typical groups and levels and extended pricing that you might find in GP. For example, we have categories, rebates, matrix pricing, even promo pricing, or contract pricing. And customers can be assigned all of the above or a combination. We've also added a price change utility. So this price change utility gives you visibility to make global price changes without having to use the GP price utilities that are currently available. This single screen approach makes it much easier to track and preview price changes before you decide to submit and update your item records. And we have an undo button. And you can change list price and cost simultaneously should you want to. And because we have additional views in addition to the single price view, we can see all pricing levels by item simultaneously. We also have a unique feature to Centerprism called price memorization. Centerprism order entry tracks every single price override that any user would make in Centerprism. But wouldn't it be nice if it would memorize that override so that when that customer comes back for that same item later down the road, it would use that price? Well, Centerprism has that ability to do that. And it's an optional ability that the user can choose to enact if they want to. So by item, when a price override happens, a pop-up will ask them, do you want to override that price? If the user says yes, he has the ability to select the expiration date that it would expire. We have the ability to see work in progress, which is anytime assemblies are in assembly mode. So your assemblies that are being built, you can see what items are not yet finished, but yet are in the assembly process. This is something not available in GP, along with some other features such as the ability to create different stages, production stages, to track better track production processes in manufacturing as well as production scheduling. We do have a retail point of sale. The retail point of sale differs from our order entry in that this is kid-proof, as well as being push button. As you see, it's a very simple modified tool. We built it in Xamarin so that it would easily format itself to those who might have a show floor or a trade show where they might use an iPad, Surface Pro to be selling. These is integrated into Centerprism automatically, and as well as the items and pricing records. Now, for PrismView, that covers the 20 reasons or 20 features. PrismView. So, should anyone not have a need yet for anything I just showed you, this is the one thing that I want to make sure you leave with. This is the tool we talked about called PrismView. PrismView is better than Excel. Why is it better? I will tell you. First of all, it's better just because you don't have to pull data out of your database. It is built in to Centerprism, so no data exports. So that's the biggest reason. But there are 7 other things PrismView can do that you can't do with Excel or SmartList. Prism Group, and I'm going to show you real time. And I'm just going to list them. Prism Group is the ability to group these fields. The field chooser lets you add fields easily by drag and drop. The filter lets you have a modern tool right on the fly to filter out data. And then we have a tool called Prism Summaries. Prism Summaries, I heard one GP user tell me that it took him 2 weeks to do in a pivot table that what we could do in Prism Summaries. The Prism Edit could be a dangerous tool. So we do that for items or card tables that you want to have global changes to. So we have a unique tool and we place it to the admin person who wants to make changes that make it much easier than having to do a SQL script. Dynamic drill downs. Everywhere there's a dynamic drill down. Dynamic drill downs means you will see the PrismView functionality within the drill down. And finally, the side-by-side. I can instantly give you a side-by-side tool to show you year-to-year comparisons, for example. Now to show you. Any questions while we switch?
No questions in the queue at this time.
Here's the product. So the first thing I'm going to do is, this is going to be the top 10, my top 10 Prism views. Starting
Actually,
with
we do
financial.
have one.
Okay.
It came in right after I said that. He made a liar out of me. So sales tax solution for e-commerce. Does e-com use the same credit card payment mentioned earlier in the presentation?
Yes, it does.
Okay, perfect.
Number one, financial transaction summary. So this is going to be a view of every single transaction summary. And so I'm showing you this just to show you what PrismView does. So first thing is the grouping. So grouping would mean I can take any field like this and group it. So I'm actually bringing this up. What I also should mention is that down here we always count the records. This happens to be 27,000 records. So I want you to see if you appreciate how fast this responds to my grouping. And then when you group a record, these little plus signs let you view all the individual records, and then I can drill down. So that's that, and then the dynamic drill downs let you do the same thing. The filtering is all visible within every single drill down. Next, field chooser. Tell me if this is easier than Smart List. I'm clicking and adding fields by clicking, or I'm unclicking. Maybe I'm not a clicking person. Maybe I rather swipe. I can swipe by just taking any field and just moving it wherever I want. I can put it there. Oh, maybe I want it over there. Or maybe I take existing fields and move it around. Maybe I don't want them at all. I just drag them off and turns to an X. That's the field chooser. Next, we have the filters. So the filters give you visibility to every value in that field. So if I want to filter, all I got to do is click on that filter, and it just filters out all that data. If I want to go back, I just simply go back. And that is that. And then we have what we call the summaries. The summaries give me the ability for every field that's a financial field, we give you the ability to have summaries. Summaries is that little summation sign that lets you calculate these totals or averages or whatever I've chosen. And the nice thing about this, it automatically does it for every group and subgroup. So no matter how I do this, where I click, I'm grouping and subgrouping, I'm seeing those values. Even if I go ahead and change this grouping, I can change groupings, whatever I want. It memorizes all of that, and just in a few seconds, it's going to change it just like that. And that was 27,000 records. Okay, that's those features. Now the next one, the payables. My next favorite, payables. So payables looks at this. So for payables, I can see, well, let's see what I can see. Wouldn't it be nice to have cash requirements? Or how about an aging summary? Or maybe I want to see an aging detail. These are all available to you instantly, as you're seeing here, even transactions. So, and whatever I do here, everything is filterable by this feature here. So I can do it year to date, I can do whatever date range, I can pick something, let's say 2018, you know, it's just that fast. And so, because I'm looking at, this is transactions, I can group it by the transaction type. So what you're seeing here is I can see every single, there's all my credit memos, there's all my invoices, there's all my payments. And what you can do is I can drill down on these, and these are dynamic drill downs, and I can have as many as I want. So I'm clicking on something which is impossible to do at GP, I can have all of these up simultaneously. So now I have three, and see the responsiveness of this. I have three drill downs. I can do it from different tables. Here's some payment drill downs. Now I'm doing a payment drill down. I got 4 drill downs, and I can move these around. If I want to move this around, I'm going to move it over here. This little ribbon lets you move things around as you need to. Okay, that's payables. Now the next one we'll go to is purchase orders. So that's in the same purchase orders. So purchase orders, what we've done that is not available in GP is give you access to purchase orders that it's really very difficult to. So when I launch a purchase orders, it will launch all the purchase orders that I have, minus the ones that have been received, closed, or canceled. But I do have visibility to those, as you see here. I can easily do this, and I got this little box here. I'll move around. There we go. So I can go in here if I want to. Notice here I got 1134. If I click on the little receive, now I got 1254. I can click on closed. Now I got 1290. So I'm looking at all the purchase orders I have. I can, again, group it by any of these, group it by PO type. Excuse me, group it by status. That's what I want to do. Group it by status. So now I have all these released, received, new. Maybe I want to group it by PO type. So you got PO type would be the type of PO it is. So within my change orders, you get the idea. I can see drop ship, standard POs, even the source of the PO. Again, I can, with the field chooser, I have all these extra fields. I can pull in, buyer ID. If I need that one, I can just drag it wherever I feel like it. It's right in there. Yes.
One more question. Have you worked with clients that do drop ship as a majority of their e-com order management?
Do I work with clients who do drop ship as a majority of the e-commerce? I do work with for order management. So I work with clients who do mostly drop ship because they don't carry much stock. So that's a yes to that one. But it sounds like the question is, is it also a combination because they're using e-commerce? So no, this client doesn't do live e-commerce, but certainly we support customers who do e-commerce, and that could be part of that as well. Other questions?
That's
or did I answer that question?
That's
all right.
Thank you.
Great. So that's purchase orders, and then I can drill down just like this. I can drill down to the PO and then build within all these transactions. Notice that I can, this is actually a PO transaction. All these tabs are down here available to me. So if I want to look at other POs that this item is on, I can even view it from here. I can, of course, filter it out, as you can see here, and I can double click on the actual PO. And then this is going to give me this screen, which gives me nice freight information, total payments, all of that. So that's all the PO information. We'll get rid of that. Next favorite, serial numbers. So serial numbers is good because GP can't do this. GP, if you look at serial number inquiry, try to see all your serial numbers at once. So if I want to group it by item, and maybe I have an item with 48 serial numbers, so that's how easily you can see serial numbers in Centerprism. Next one, item status. One of my favorites, item status. Wouldn't it be nice if I could see very instantly my value of inventory just right out of the box? What I'm looking at is based on current value, there's current cost. I can group it, I can filter it. If I want to group it by, I don't know, let's say item type, or I just filter it by item type. Maybe I just want to see only my inventory items. Maybe I want to add some features to group it by. Maybe you want to throw in there item class. Or maybe I want to throw in another field out about vendor name. That'd be nice. So now I can group it and see my value based on vendor name, just like that fast. So there you go, and I can group, of course, within that by class, which is over here. I can throw it right there. Now we got by class, and for my fastener classes, I only usually buy from these vendors. I can see my value and who's my biggest value based on that vendor. And this is where the summaries, and we have the ability to preset the summaries so they automatically display. You don't have to pick this box. All right, so, and then with all this, I can do overstock. How about an overstock list? How about a negative quantity list? So I can, all these Prism views are out of the box. They're all built in, back orders, and I can go back and forth. And then when I look at these items, I can go in there and I can see, and I kept my grouping on that one value, if you notice that. I can go right into the record, and this would be my item maintenance record, which then lets me go into this item individually. I can see all my sites IDs, much easier to manage, all my vendors, much easier to manage. I could even go and even see order point calculations and over the audit trails. See audit trails like I showed you, where I can group it by the transaction type and see adjustments, you know, all these things are visible, and all those other things. So lots of things going on there.
Michael, one more question.
Yes.
Is PrismView available in Spanish?
Not yet. Question. Haven't thought about that. Boy, gosh.
There you go.
Not yet. No. Ask me later. Okay, so next. Okay, so commissions. So we got commission reports. Would it be nice to see your commissions really easily? Let's do everybody. So commissions, PrismView. Oh, let's make it where I can see a lot of commissions. Okay, there. Okay, now we got commissions. It's thinking. There we go. Okay, commissions. So commissions. So there you go. Easily see commissions and all that. Let's see. Next is aging. So now these are my last three here. The receivables. So receivables is really good because we can give you all these Prism views. Receivables owed, payment summaries. I can give you payments detailed. How about aging summary? How about aging detail? So these are, I'm just jumping through. So aging detail, I can now see, I can group it by customer. I can filter it. Maybe I want to filter it by days. Give me every day that's greater than a certain day. And all the values, by the way, every single time I do a custom filter, not only are all the values in that field available, but also the fields are also available. So as I add and subtract different columns, those become, so I can do filtering against those fields. So let's do everybody who's greater than that. And then okay. And I can do, by the way, I can do multiple of those. So, all right, so now I just filtered it. And again, I can see these are invoices, of course, sorting and all that. I can double click and I can view every single one of these if I wanted to. So I can go into every single one of these and see all of that. Plus, if I happen to go into a payable, I won't see it here. In fact, let's do that. Let's go into a payable. And if I do that, I'm going to look at every single transaction that's in my database so I can show you how that works. And if I do that, if I happen to have these views up, they will stay up if you want them to, so we don't take that down. And notice how I left a lot of these things up. So this is thinking a little harder, but this is every single transaction. So, and I'm on a notebook computer. Okay, and I'm going to show you the new side-by-side feature. So this would be every single, there we go. All right, so, and this is left up. So now we got every single transaction. Okay, so if I group by document type, then I can go into credit memos. Let's go into payments. So the nice thing about the payments is if I group in, drilling down into a payment, like that. And if I see a payment, I can see what other payments, so I got drill down within drill down, so I can see all the checks that were applied to this cash payment. So that is good, we think. And then we have, now I'm going to do this again. So we got this going up, and I'm going to do this again. So this is, I'm going to press the system here. I'm actually bringing up all my transactions. And so I'm doing this, and this is what you can do. You can have multiple views up simultaneously of the same view. So now I have, and I'll move this one down to here. So now I got two of the same exact views. Actually, I'm going to go to transactions. This would be a big field or a big view, and I got doing it twice against my database. And then I'm going to show you the side-by-side. So the side-by-side is really easy to do, and then we have a brand new button here we've added that lets you do it by side. We also have other things. If you notice, we can give you the ability to see voids. We have also multi-database view and extended view. So there's lots of different things you can have, and one thing that usually comes up is, can I save my views? Yes, you can. Either we give you a tool to save it, or if you save it without the tool, it saves it. It knows who you are based on their user role. Okay, how to do a side-by-side. Okay, I got two of the same values. There's 28 or 2,000 records each. I'm going to hit right-click. I can either do a horizontal or vertical. I'm going to do a vertical. So now I got two side-by-sides. Usually the problem is, gosh, I can hardly read everything because they're too scrunched. So what do? I click on this. This is called the year-to-year view. And that way it makes it better to see information. So what we do is we automatically take off fields that may not be as important, because you really, when you're doing side-by-sides, you're trying to look at kind of the bigger picture and not necessarily wanting to see PO numbers and check numbers. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to group it, see who my best customer is, and then I can go here. I can make a date range. Let's pick 2019. Let's go January, and then I'll pick 2019. I'm just going to go year to year, 19 against 20. See if I'm tracking. That's probably something a lot of people are doing right now is, am I tracking like I did last year? Maybe not, but that's okay. So we got here year to date and search. Okay, so now I can see, so my doc amount is $1,000,004, and then my doc amount is, and it's probably real life. So here's my year to date for this year, 157,000 for the same group. So I got 1,004,157,000. I can see who my favorite customers are based on, as you see here, I'm grouping it and subtotaling it. So this is what you can do. Actually, yeah, I got this. Let's do that right there. Now we got, and pull that down. Okay, now we got a different view. So there you go. And it looks like that's the problem. My best customer isn't buying, he's returning a bunch of stuff, so that's not good. So there you go. And I guess I can drill down. So I'll leave this up. I could easily move that back. And the last one I'll show you, and then we'll do Q&A, is sales activity. Okay, sales activity is really good. Okay, and I think you'll like it. So sales activity, I can do this. This is actually, it defaults to this, but let's go back and let's look at year to date, just like that. So, and I can, with sales activity, I can do historic. Let's do historic, and let's go ahead and add all that. If I wanted to bring in orders, I could. So we got the invoices that we posted, the invoices we have yet to post, but this should be good representation. I can see profit. This is what I'm looking at now. This is by line, so I'm actually viewing it from an item view, so it gives me item detail. So very easily, if I uncheck it, it instantly becomes a transaction detail. There's a line item detail, and then a transaction detail, that quick. Then I can pull this up again. Let's do it by transaction, and now I got, notice here, I'm keeping all these up. I didn't close these. So I got this one. So let's do a side-by-side on this one. So now I got sales activity, and I'm going to do year to year. So this will strip out those, and we'll do year to year. Well, let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to do year to year in that one. Okay, right there. Oh, just move that over there and there. Okay, so now we got a year to year, and see what happens. Notice here, much easier to look at. Now I can say, okay, what I want to do here. I'm going to go and filter it out. Let's make this one date range. Let's pick, again, 2019 and see how I'm doing sales-wise there. And 2019, same period, 2019, August 20th, just like that. And we find documents. So just like that, I'm seeing history, and I got over here the filtering. We'll do year to date right there, and then find documents, right? Oh, it's the history ones, and then there. I can also put the voids in, as you saw there too, as you see there. Okay, so now I can see total gross profit. I can see I'm making good money. How am I doing this year? Maybe not as good. Okay, so I got to work on this year. But year's not over. A lot could happen. Okay, and I got document, as you see here, and I guess I can swipe off. If I don't have multiple locations, which of course I can group it, then maybe I don't have those, so I don't care about those. Just like I don't care about them over here either. So, and there it is. Pull that off there. So now we got gross profit and all of that, and there you go. So, and oh yeah, that's what I didn't see. Okay, that's why the item is there. There, now it's much better. Okay, and I'll move this one off. Now we got that. So now I can see gross profit, a lot less, total sales, $1.9 million. So I'm doing pretty decent margin. You know, I can also see the total percentages if I wanted to. There you go. And of course, I can drill down. I can find out what's going on, and I can do this from any of these screens. So what you see here on any drill downs, it keeps us live, but I can drill down to the document. I can see what else they bought. So if I want to go on, I can group by the customer. Let's do that by that and see. Let's pull up one of those bigger ones. 28. Let's do that one. Okay, so now we got 2 invoices. So we got this invoice. I see item detail. I see shipping information, tracking numbers, notes, serial numbers, transactions, and this will show you all the other transactions. So very easily I can pull those up if I want to do. See, now I just pulled up that was that one. If I pull up the order, so I can actually pull up within the drill down. I can pull up the corresponding order. So if you have one where you created a back order and all that, you can actually pull those documents up by clicking it within the drill down. So now I got invoice, order, and back order. I can see all the distributions on the invoice. What else could you want? Okay, and then here's all your field chooser if you want to customize the screen a little bit. And that is my top 10. Looking at the time here, we're only 5 minutes for Q&A. The top 10 Prism views. Questions?
Great stuff, Michael. I do
Thank
have
you.
a couple questions here. Sure. What if I've added custom fields in GP? Would I be able to use PrismView to see them?
And that's a really great question. The answer is yes.
Nice. What if I've already used an add-on software package? Can I still keep using it? You
can still use it if you want to, but we're going to try and talk you into using Centerprism.
Okay. What's this? What if I have an older version of GP? Would your software still work?
It does. We support, believe it or not, everything from 10.0, if you can remember that one, if you still have customers that have those, till 2018, 19, whatever's next.
Okay. And there's another one here. Do I have to have a GP license for each Centerprism license?
And the answer is no. We don't care. All you need is one GP user. That's all you need.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, this is really good stuff. Thank you so much. I don't have any other questions on my end. Lisa, do you show anything?
I don't. But thank you for sharing this information. It was a great demo. Looks like a fantastic tool. And thank you everyone for bringing your questions to the table here and the discussion. I'm sure it was good for everyone. We will have Michael check out that option to include Spanish in his next versions and connect him. And until next time, I guess that's about it. We'll just leave it open here a couple minutes and see if there's more questions that come in the queue. But thanks everyone for joining and enjoying this information.
Yeah, Humberto, I also sent your contact information over to Michael, so he'll be following up with you on your specific question.
Perfect. And with that, I think we'll say goodbye. But thank you, Michael, and thank you,
Thanks
everyone.
Again.
Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.
You do as well.
Thank you. Bye.